Howdy folks, AJ coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And as you know, I posted a video yesterday saying that I was going to be keeping my eye on all these conventions that are happening this weekend and kind of picking out the most relevant and important parts of the announcements and all that. And then I was going to do a recap video on Sunday to kind of go over all that. So I started doing research last night, watching videos on Twitch and going on Twitter and going to all these other websites and things that are resources for me. And it became very clear there is no way that it's going to be one video. No way can I put all that into one video. There's a shit ton of information coming out this weekend on everything from regular console games to PC games, MMOs, paper and pencil, a lot on paper and pencil, Dungeons and Dragons. So what I decided to do was we're going to do this one, which is going to be all the stuff that I garnered from the Gen Con convention and connecting information that connected with that. And then we'll do a separate video for SOE Live. And I had forgotten that this weekend in Germany is Gamescom. So, yeah, there's a lot of crap to go over. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, starting off with what was announced at Gen Con. The first thing was that they announced a thing called the Adventurers League. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but I wanted to start off by saying that I think Wizards of the Coast has done an exemplary job of how they're marketing the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. Originally, I thought it was kind of odd how they were staggering the release on certain things and everything, but I'm starting to see how it all. They had a very strategic plan of how they're doing everything. They've tied in on the 14th, the first day of Gen Con. They launched through Neverwinter the PC MMO, the free-to-play PC MMO set in the Forgotten Realms game world. They released their Tyranny of Dragons module for that. And that ties in directly to the Tyranny of Dragons story arc that they've done with Horde of the Dragon Queen, and it's going to continue on. And they've tied this theme this story arc into everything that they're doing. And you'll see that as I go along here. So they did that with Neverwinter. And I went in, I actually logged in because it's free to play. There's no subscription or anything like that. There is a heavy cash shop to buy different things and all that, but you don't have to. And I went in just to see if there was going to be a quest line, an obvious quest line that's going to start up, and it was obvious. There was a couple of quest lines that started up with the Tyranny of Dragons story arc in Neverwinter. So I won't give away anything more than that. It is there, and it's ready to go. They actually introduced a new class with that module called the Scourge Warlock. I did not start one or anything. You only get 2 character slots when you start out, and then of course you got to pay for more character slots because it's a free-to-play game. And I didn't want to pay for another slot right now, so I didn't get a chance to try that out. But it does all tie in to this story arc. So The next thing that I wanted to get into was that they have also tied in a lot of free content with this 5th edition. For one thing, you can go on to D&D, the D&D website, wizards/D&D, I think it is. It's easy to find. And you can download the basic rules, the basic Dungeon Master rules. Like version 2 is like 100 and some pages, and you can download that or print it or whatever you want to do. There's a printer-friendly version and all that. That's free. They did release the first adventure module, which is called Hoard of the Dragon Queen. That one is, of course, in game stores and on Amazon and all that. But then, in addition to that, there's a free supplement that goes to that, obviously on the same website, the Tyranny of Dragons, and this basically is it's like 31 pages, I think, and it's all the different monsters, spells, magic items, that kind of stuff, and that, again, that's free. Then, in addition to that, they have through Audible.com, which is owned by Amazon. That's their audiobook company. They've released, and I want to make sure I get the name right here. It's called The Legend of Drizzt, The Collected Stories. And it's an audiobook of all these Drizzt stories, and it's narrated by all these famous actors that you've heard of. Tina Fey, Ice-T, Sean Astin, Melissa Roach, the one who plays Bernadette on The Big Bang Theory, and there's others. That's just some of the main ones, and that's completely free. I went on to Audible, I think it was, and I already had an Amazon account, so you just log in with your Amazon credentials, and it just said download it for free, and I was listening to it on my phone. You can listen to it on your any whatever device you have, and then also on your PC or whatever. So completely free. So just wanted to make sure you're aware of that in case you're interested. Now, the next thing that they're working on, Wizards is working with a company called Trapdoor Entertainment, and that is to produce the companion app for the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and it's going to be called Dungeonscape. So if you go to Trapdoor Entertainment's website, you can sign up, you can apply for the beta, and they call it codename Morningstar is the project's codename, but it's already been announced that it's Dungeonscape, and it's, from what I can see, it's going to be the anybody that's ever used Hero Lab, it's going to be the Hero Lab for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. It's going to be instead of using Hero Lab, you would use Dungeonscape. So anyway, that's available to apply for the beta if something you're interested in. And there is, if you Google it, you'll find there's a few screenshots and stuff out there that you can find. So so that's coming down the pipe. Now, 2 big announcements. One was this Adventurers League that came out, and this is going to take a little bit of time to explain, because what they've done is I can see that they're trying to get the local small game stores involved in the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons story arc, whatever. They're trying to get them involved to where you have to go to the store, or you're going to want to go to the store to experience the story arc and game there and whatnot. And the way they've done this is through this Adventures League. Excuse me, I got to look at my notes here because there's a lot of information. So there's going to be 3 different tiers for this Adventures League. You're going to have encounters, you're going to have expeditions, and you're going to have epics. Encounters are going to be, if that's designed for short play sessions like 3 to 4 hours at your local game store, where you will go and you will sign up, and when you sign up, you get like a little kit that they will give you, and you will pick you'll alliance yourself with one of the factions. There's like 5 factions to choose from, and you will ally yourself with them, whichever one you choose. And there's actually a special character sheet that they will give you, and if you got the starter set, there's one in there, but that's what it looks like right there, D&D Encounters, and you will there'll be a dungeon master that's assigned to that encounters group, and you'll go like once a week, and you will experience this story arc. The next is called Expeditions, and Expeditions is convention style campaigning. It's a much more involved system that or I shouldn't say system. It's a more involved experience, I guess. And those adventures will be delivered via PDF to the game stores themselves, and then whoever is going to be the DM or whatever will get them there, and that will be a whole separate set of adventures if you decide to get into the expeditions. And then they can do at conventions as well. They can run the expeditions adventures there. And then lastly, there will be the epics, and epics will only be at special events. The first one is going on right now at Gen Con. It's called Corruption in Crypt Garden. And all these adventures in all these, it all ties into the Tyranny of Dragons story arc. So if you are interested in getting involved in any of that, you can go to the D&D website and click on the encounters thing, and it tells you it has a store locator to find a store where they're running encounter gaming or game sessions and that type of thing. So have at it. What it's done is it's taken a need where people want to find a group, and it's also satisfying the fact that local game stores were having trouble competing with Amazon and other online retailers, and it's saying, okay, here we go. We got people that want to find a group. We're giving you the ability to just go to your local game store, sign up. We give you the materials, and you play. And of course, what they're hoping that you're going to be buying the books and the miniatures. There's a miniatures game that ties into this that they've announced, and all these other products. They're hoping that because you're there, you're going to buy all this stuff. So it's going to benefit Wizards of the Coast. It's going to benefit the game store, and it's going to benefit the player. So if it works out, it sounds like it's going to be a win-win for everybody. Now, the last thing, this was also announced. There's going to be a comic series, a graphic novel, comics, whatever you want to call it, called Legends of Baldurs Gate. Now, anybody that played Baldur's Gate knows that there's plenty of material there to do graphic novels from. It's a perfect setting and everything to use, perfect story, perfect good characters. And the first one that they released a preview at Gen Con, is Minsk and Boo. And anybody that has ever played Baldur's Gate, they know, go for the eyes, Boo, go for the eyes. So the space hamster, or whatever he was called, galactic space hamster, or whatever. Anyway, any of you who played Baldur's Gate, you guys get the joke. You know what I'm talking about. The ones that don't have no idea what I'm talking about, but hopefully you can pick up the comic when it comes out. It comes out in October. So basically what I'm saying is that they've tied all this in together. Whether you play at home with your own group, you want to go to the store and play there, and then when you go to a convention, you can actually continue the story arc when you go to the convention if you want to play in an epic. And of course, there's a miniatures game. There's going to be the comics for Baldur's Gate storyline, and it all ties into Tyranny of Dragons. So I think it's a marvelous job on their part of marketing. Now, having said all that, you guys know I'm a big fan of the previous editions of Dungeons and Dragons, but I am reading all this material and digesting it and seeing, if I want to, how deeply I want to get involved with it, and we'll see. But the bottom line is, it's one of those things where it's like, your wallet, and it's like, no, AJ, no, I can't take much more. It's like, it's like when I saw the comics with Boo and Minsk, it's like, well, I got to get those. I loved Baldur's Gate 2. I mean, I loved the whole thing. How do I not get those? I got to get them. So they'll get my money there. So anyway, I think that takes care of the stuff that came out D&D Next related at Gen Con and all that. I will follow this up with another video where I'll get into the Sony Online, or I'm sorry, SOE Live and Gamescom information. I'll do a separate video there. So we'll catch you guys on the flip side.